Chicken parm is one of my all-time favorite things to cook, and it's also something I often make for gatherings or to gift food when people are in need. If you want a recipe that you can have in your back pocket that looks like the picture here, this video is for you. Fun fact, chicken parm takes about 10 minutes to cook, 5 minutes on each side before putting it in the oven. Since this video is going to be about 10 minutes long, I've included B-roll of one batch of chicken parm being cooked on the side, so you can follow along as it goes. It also has some nice ASMR, if you like ASMR as frying chicken, which weirdly I find comforting. Regardless, when I make chicken parm, I do large batches. This is mainly because chicken parm is a setup and then you run through it kind of recipe. It's something where there's very little downtime, so if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it all out. I'm not going to do it halfway. This is almost never a recipe that I make exactly 2 chicken breasts of. In this video, I'm actually making 10 pounds worth of chicken parm. You do not need to do that much chicken parm in one sitting, and I would actually suggest doing a smaller amount on your first go. However, because of how much setup this recipe requires, I prefer to just do it all at once and then I have meal prep and I can freeze it and I can do all the things with it afterward. For ingredients, your recipe is going to be pretty straightforward. You need as much chicken as you want to be able to cook, flour, eggs, breadcrumbs, Parmesan, mozzarella, and marinara sauce. You'll also need a little bit of oil for frying in, and then you'll need whatever seasonings you prefer. My seasonings of preference are of course salt and pepper, and just paprika and cayenne. So let's get into the step-by-steps. Your very first thing you're going to want to do is break down your chicken. I buy chicken breasts in full size and then prep them myself. You should split each chicken breast into 3 to make 3 full chicken parms from them. The first step is to trim the chicken breast. I always take the fat off of the edges, and anywhere that it looks like there's a large fat piece, I just cut it off. On these chicken breasts, every single one of them had like a joint or piece of cartilage right in that corner there that you can see me cutting off. I cut it out for all of them. It's a little bit of an extra process, but it means there's no gristle bite when you have your larger pieces of chicken parm. If you're doing the full chicken breast, don't cut this out. Just know that there will be like a little bite in that corner that can be awkward. Once I've cut out that corner piece, I split it into 3. I always split it into 3 in the same 3 places. You can see where I'm making the cuts here. I pick a line, and then I, roughly speaking, end up with 3 even-sized pieces. It's okay if they're a little bit different, because we're going to be hammering them out into cutlets to make it so they're all the same thickness, which is what really matters for chicken parm. But you want all of your pieces to be the same thickness so that they cook evenly and they coat evenly. You want the same ratio of breadcrumb to chicken for all the pieces, and you want them to all be able to go in the pan and come out of the pan at roughly the same amount of time. It's a pretty laborious process, and I use plastic wrap to keep chicken from going all over the places. I put a large piece down on my cutting board, put the chicken on top of it, and then fold it over it before I start hammering. My hammer has 2 sides, one that has little pointy things and one that's flat. I usually do one pass with the pointy side to kind of break up the chicken a little bit, and then hammer it flat afterwards. If you already have a piece that's about the right thickness, I still give it a couple hits with the hammer just to soften it, but I don't need to thin it out any more than that because it's already the thickness I want. It doesn't really matter what thickness you choose. I prefer them on the thin side. Just make sure they're all about the same, and once you've figured out how long one takes to cook, all of them should cook about the same from there. Once all your chicken breasts are trimmed, cut to size, and then hammered out, you can begin the big step of the process for chicken parm, which is the breading. I have a super straightforward breading that I've used for, I don't even know how many times I've made this recipe, a lot of times. I love it because it gets all the flavor I want without having to go through a whole bunch of extra steps. This part of the process is all about having clear stations. You don't want to be running around with, chicken hands trying to open things, mess things around. So I have everything I'm going to need already in front of me, and I prefer to use gloves for this process. When making chicken parm, I do often go through multiple rounds of gloves, but they're disposable, and that's something I'm willing to do at the cost of not having to constantly be stopping and washing my hands and resetting. I use these plate-like bowls that have a little bit of a rim for all of my breading. Use whatever you prefer. Some people actually use full trays to do chicken parm. It really just depends on how much you're doing and how many trips you want to make on refilling. I'm going to bread from right to left and then put the chicken that has been breaded back on the cutting board in rows so that it's really easy to pick up for frying. On the right side, we have basic flour, AP flour, along with salt and fresh cracked pepper. In the middle, I have 2 eggs mixed with about an equal amount of water and then lightly whisked with a fork so that everything's broken up. I ended up needing to use a 3rd egg over the course of making all this chicken, but that ratio is still true. I added the same amount of water, so 1-to-1 ratio of egg to water. Oh look, we're about to flip the chicken parm. This is the fun part. Let's watch me struggle to do it while filming with one hand. That third bowl is where the magic happens. That's our actual breading. The flour is just there to make it so the egg sticks, and the egg's just there to make it so the breading sticks, and then the breading has everything we want in it. I use an equal part of fresh grated Parmesan and Italian breadcrumbs. I like using the Italian breadcrumbs that already have the seasonings in it. I used to do it myself, starting with plain breadcrumbs and then seasoning it myself, and I ended up pretty close to the pre-made breadcrumb version very often with the seasonings I chose. Once you have your even ratio of Parmesan to breadcrumb, I do an even ratio of paprika and cayenne. As you can see in this image, I measure this by essentially covering 1/2 with paprika and 1/2 with cayenne in about an equal layer. The more you put, the stronger the flavor will be. And then I put an equal amount of salt and pepper as well, same proportions as the cayenne and paprika. So it's a 1:1:1:1 ratio of cayenne, salt, pepper, and paprika. I always use fresh grated Parmesan in the highest quality that I'm comfortable with based off the price point. The better your Parmesan is, the better your chicken Parmesan is. I'm sure this isn't surprising. And you want to really have a lot of Parmesan in your bread coating because you're not going to put too much on at the end. Really, the Parmesan flavor comes from it being in the bread coating. In terms of the actual breading process, it's pretty simple. I use the right hand, left hand technique, which is to say that your right hand only ever touches the raw chicken and the flour, and your left hand only ever touches the egg battered chicken and then the breading. This is to make it so that the flour and the egg don't touch on your hands, otherwise they'll clump up. It's fine if the egg and the breadcrumb touch because the breadcrumb won't stick to the egg unless there's also flour there, but especially if you're doing this bare-handed, your fingers will get clumped up very quickly if you go from flour to egg, and it will just cake up and you'll have to wash your hands constantly. This is the main reason I use gloves, because it really simplifies this process. When you're done, you'll end up with a mountain of chicken parm that's been breaded and is ready to fry. It might not be as large as this one here, since this is 10 pounds worth of chicken parm, but make whatever you want and have it all be in one place. Then move over to your frying station. I always use cast iron, and I make sure I'm doing it on the stove. I like cast iron because of its ability to retain heat, and I like how much space it gives me on the stove as well to work with. If you've been watching the B-roll on the side, this is the part we've been working with. Always test your oil before putting your first piece in. You want your oil hot. If your oil is not hot, it's just going to soak into your chicken and then make your chicken all oily and wet and gross, and the breading can even fall off. So you want nice hot oil. You don't want it to be smoking up your whole kitchen, but you do want it to be loud and hot. The way I test this is by putting a couple drops of water in the oil. They should pop and sizzle and basically make you scared that you're going to get burned. If that's true, then you're ready to fry. For chicken parm, I work in batches. As I'm frying my first batch, I preheat my oven to 500 degrees, which for my oven is broiling. I also lay out 2 sheet pans that can go in the oven at that heat. The game plan's pretty simple. I make about 5 or 6 chicken parms in the cast iron skillet, move them over to the trays where they can drain a little bit of the oil, and then top them with marinara sauce, extra Parmesan, and of course fresh mozzarella. Once the tray is full, I put the whole thing in the oven, let it go until the tops of all the Parmesan are starting to brown, and then I take it out, let it cool, and put it into whatever serving dishes or storage dishes I'm using. To repeat, the steps are taking the raw chicken and putting it in the cast iron skillet, flipping it exactly once after about 5 minutes, after about 5 more minutes, putting it on one of the trays, and while the next round of chicken is cooking in the cast iron skillet, I top those chickens with marinara, mozzarella, and Parmesan, as you can see here, and then put the whole thing in the oven once the tray is full. I take it out, and then it's done. If you did this step right, you'll end up with a whole bunch of chicken parm that looks like this. This recipe made 2 3/4 full baking trays of chicken parm for a total of 39 pieces of chicken parm. They have slight variances in how big they are total, but they're all about the same thickness, and they're all delicious. You of course can eat it right out of the oven fresh, and in my opinion that's the best way to do it. Personally, I like making a fresh marinara sauce if I'm going to serve it with pasta. The marinara you put on the chicken doesn't need to be too flashy because there's not a lot of it and it's really just there to kind of hold it together. Your best marinara sauce should be reserved for the pasta that you serve with it. As an added bonus, any extra Parmesan you have from all the Parmesan you grated should go straight into your sauce and make it a Parm sauce. My pasta sauce ended up being almost 1/3 Parmesan and it was awesome. But that's a recipe for another video. As the chicken parm finishes cooking over here, I want to say that this video is actually part of a 100 subscriber special that I'm doing. This is not normally a cooking channel, although I am chef themed. I'm much more of a home chef who enjoys cooking. This is actually a gaming channel focused on the classic card game Magic the Gathering. If that seems interesting to you, I recommend subscribing. And if you subscribe, I'm more likely to hit benchmarks where I'll make more cooking videos, in which case you should subscribe even if you just like this cooking part. I really appreciate you watching this far, and let me know in the comments if you're going to use this recipe or if you like this recipe at all, or if you have recommendations on how to film with one hand, since I don't really have a great setup for filming in the kitchen. Like I said, usually a gaming channel, so hard to make chicken parm at my desk. And if you try this recipe, let me know in the comments that you liked it, because I know you will. Thanks, and I hope to see you on the next one.